Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday, the 17th of October 2022. In today's Millwall news, we have the 4 takeaways piece from the South London Press London News Online, so let's have a read of this. 4 takeaways from Millwall's 2-1 win at Bristol City. Formation switches to revitalise the Lions, has Fleming totally in the groove. Millwall secured back-to-back wins for the first time this season after a 2-1 victory at Bristol City. It was the first time since Masters of the Lions took all 3 points in an away fixture. Tom Bradshaw scored just before half-time, pouncing on a loose ball in the box following a free kick. Those did get them back in the game thanks to Sean Hutch's own goal. Gower outside sealed all 3 points thanks to Zion Fleming's quick thinking in the box after Max O'Leary's error. Here are Alex Grace's takeaways from that match. Away duck is broken. It's been a long time coming, but the Lions have finally ended their away day hoodoo. March 5th was the last time the Lions managed a victory on the road. The relief from the players, staff and fans was clear to see at the final whistle. It's also back-to-back wins now for Rowett's men, and the hope is now that their season is well and truly up and running. The run of away games the Lions have had has been tough, but we know with this team over the last few years that momentum has always been key. If they can get a run and get their confidence flowing, then results have a habit of following. This period of games before the World Cup was always going to be key. The Lions facing teams either around them or below them in the league table. Watford and West Brom at the Den are next up for Millwall, both of which will be classed as winnable games, with neither of them starting the season in great fashion. Formation changes worked, indeed, unequivocally, I think. Millwall look like a different team since switching formations. Garrett's decision to change from a back 5 to a back 4 seems to have settled the side. The Lions boss named the same team for a third match running, something he has not done all season. That shows how confident, how reliable the side have been since that switch. Today was no different. The Lions looked solid at the back. The pairing of Sean Hutchinson and Jake Cooper, the captain and his deputies, certainly the strongest combination for Rowett in the centre of defence. Charlie Cresswell and Murray Wallace are also good options for Rowett to have as backup, but it's hard to see the Lions boss moving away from his first choice duo unless his hand is forced. Zion Fleming looks very comfortable in his position behind the striker, and that can only be a good thing going forward. It's now 7 points from a possible 9 since the formation change. Zion at it again. He just can't stop scoring. It's now 5 goals in 5 games for the Dutchman. He has certainly settled into championship life. This was not his liveliest game by any means, but that just shows how vital he is to Millwall. Even if he is not heavily involved in what's happening on the pitch, he remains a danger. This was not like the previous games where he's been given the chance to have 5 or 6 shots. Millwall have been missing someone who can take their chances on a regular basis. And since he found the net against Blackpool, Millwall's number 10 has not looked back. He is now confident and finding himself in the right areas at the right time to score goals. It's no surprise that in all the games that he has found the net, the Lions have either won or drawn. His goals have been crucial and secured a total of 10 points. Bradshaw off the mark. It's been a frustrating start to the season for the Shrewsbury-born striker. He's found it hard to get into a rhythm, as he did last season, but the goal at Ashton Gate will give him a confidence boost. The miss last time out against Middlesbrough in previous times would have seen him crumble, but this time around he has stayed strong, kept focused, and got his reward by finding the net. We know this type of scoring runs he can have. He demonstrated that last season, but this was interrupted by an injury. Fit and confident Tom Bradshaw is a huge plus for Millwall. When on his confident runs, he shows that instinctive desire to get into the box and be in the right place at the right time to score those key goals. That is something that could make a huge difference to Millwall's season. It's worth noting that he's keeping Benicopia out of the side, with only one central striking position now available after the formation switch. Scoring regularly is going to be the only way that either one of them will keep that role. Indeed. So there's your 4 takeaways from the game, and we now have confirmation that Murray Wallace is out injured. He will miss at least the next 2 games. This is from southwarknews.co.uk, reporting on comments made by Gary Rowett. Millwall defender set for spell on the sidelines. Murray Wallace has started every game for the Lions so far this season. Millwall boss Gary has confirmed that Murray Wallace is a huge doubt for the Lions' next 2 games against Watford and West Brom after injuring his groin. The 29-year-old has been battling with the injury since the international break, but was able to play through it. However, he pulled up against Bristol City on Saturday afternoon and had to be replaced after 61 minutes. So this is a situation that's going on. He's been playing with a little injury, and he's just been grinding himself through it, and maybe that's not the best thing to do, but he was doing it, and that might explain why his performances weren't tip top Murray Wallace that we saw last season, because he wasn't physically 100% fit. Having played as a starting left back since shifting to a 4-2-3-1 formation, Brown will need to decide who fits into that role in his absence, with Scott Malone and Callum Styles the most likely replacements. Discussing Wallace's injury, the Millwall boss told me that they first felt the issue about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's sort of been getting through it and managing it, he added. It's not been a massive problem, but I think maybe with the amount of games we've had and the amount of training Muzz has done, it might have been a step too far for him. But Muzzy gets injured, which is usually very few and far between. There's a reason behind it. I think it's just that his performances and his physical levels are so high that at some point, of course, something has to give. He looks a little bit better than we first thought today, but he's had a scan and we should know a little bit more. Hopefully tomorrow. I would say there's a huge doubt on Wednesday and Saturday, and then again, depends on what that timescale is. Until I have that, it's very difficult to speculate. If Massa has to come off mid-game, then realistically, there's going to be something there. It's not normal for him to do that. I think he cleared the ball and it looked like he winced a little bit. Sometimes you notice it because you know the players well. Then he tried to defend, and again he had to turn and sprint, and he looked really uncomfortable and pulled up at the end of it. You could see something wasn't right, and we had to make the decision at that point. Muzzy isn't one who's going to ask to come off, but certainly he couldn't run properly, so we had to get him off. It certainly wasn't a tactical thing. So there you go. Murray Wallace, groin injury, quite serious, set to miss at least the next 2 games against Watford and West Bromwich Albion. And now we wait to see who steps into that role. I think Garrett needs to keep the formation. There was some talk that it might go back to the old formation because that's where Scott Malone plays better, but we certainly hope not. So we got the same story here from the London News Online, but they had a little kicker on the end about Ryan Leonards. So Ryan Leonard has been out since late August with a hamstring tear. Lenny's just had a minor setback, said Ryan. He felt a little bit sore doing some iron stuff that would have allowed him to go straight back into training. Since he had a reaction, we have held him back a little bit. He was due to be joining fully this week. So Ryan Leonard, the only other injury before Murray Wallace, coming back into training, but before he could get fully into it, he had a little bit of a problem, and they've just had to slow him down on that. So there you go. There are the injuries from Millwall. Now, Loanwatch. Millwall Loanwatch. Disappointment on the road for Alex Mitchell. This is from SouthwarkNews.co.uk. 3 loanees were in action over the weekend, including Joe Wright and Chin Ockley. Millwall loanee Mitchell had a frustrating afternoon at the Tony Macaroni Arena as St Johnstone were beaten 1-0 by Livingston. The Saints fell behind in the 35th minute when former Oldham Athletic winger Dylan Bahambulo found the back of the net. Mitchell was then given a yellow card 12 minutes after the half-time break and was substituted 9 minutes later. The defeat sees Callum Davidson's side drop to 10th place in the Scottish Premiership ahead of travelling to Hibernian on Friday evening. A clash at Easter Road will be the first top-flight match to be played in Scotland using VAR technology. Oh dear, yeah, so Alex Mitchell, from the highlights that I saw on BBC iPlayer, didn't really have that much to do, wasn't getting involved in the game. And they were losing. I think they made the tactical change to take him off because he did have that yellow card, so I think that's why they did that. Hopefully, I don't think he is injured. I think it was just a tactical change. Elsewhere, Chin Ockley played the full 90 minutes for Torquay United as they drew 2-2 at home to Ampton and Richmond Borough in the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup. The tie will now go to replay at the Rocket Hospitality Beverly Stadium, although both teams will be in the hat for tonight's first round draw. Indeed. And Joe Wright's Bath City have already been eliminated in the Cup, meaning that they were able to play their National League South match away at Concord Rangers. The Millwall goalkeeper played the full 90 minutes as the Romans secured a 2-0 win thanks to a brace from Cody Cook, taking them up to 5th in the table. So another clean sheet there for Joe Wright. Now, we move on to the Loanwatch from millwallfc.co.uk. They've got a bit more. So B-Side Top Lodge not involved in Dagenham and Redbridge's absolute thrashing of local team Beckenham Town 7-0 in front of their record crowd at Beckenham Town of 1,661 people, because his loan spell's ended. He only had a month there, and I can't believe it's been a month already, and yeah, it's up and he's back. Now, is he in contention to play in that left back? I think it would be a bit too much against Watford and West Brom. Maybe if it was against Huddersfield, I would have faith that he could play against Huddersfield, B-Side Top Lodge. But against Watford, against West Brom, not too sure about that. So, but he's back at the club now. So here's the upcoming fixtures for the three loanees. We've got the one on Friday, the one on Saturday, and of course tomorrow night, Tuesday, 18th of October, Chinockley, Hampton, and Richmond Borough versus Torquay United. Now the draw's been made, so they know what they're playing for. What are they playing for? Well, this is from bbcsport.co.uk. And here we go. Chinockley is trying to get Torquay United to have a home game against Derby County. Former European Cup winners, I believe, are now down on their luck, slumming it in League One, and lucky to still be going, actually. Nearly went out of business, and yeah, they're playing them, so there you go. Is that giant killing like that? I don't know, probably not. They probably would have preferred to get round to the third round and the big teams come in, like Millwall. But what can you do? You got to play the hand you get dealt, don't you? So there's the FA Cup draw. Ebbsfleet Town, Halifax Town, Sutton United, Farnborough, Gillingham, AFC Flood, Killers, Minster Harriers, and Dagenham and Redbridge away at Maidenhead United. So there you go. Now moving on to this. So this, I was in last season's videos post match. I was doing this graphic and showing you this. I really like this one. Now this season, the geezer, he does them a bit late, so they're not ready in time for Sunday's videos. But I'm still want to show you it. So here's the XG over the length of the 90 minutes of the match, and as you can see, we kept Bristol City really quiet in that first half. After an initial flurry in the first 5 minutes, so the red line, as it goes along, any time a team has a decent shot on target, the line goes up. The higher up it goes, the better the chances. So you can see Bradshaw's situation where he scored the goal, the blue line that jumps up. That was a very good chance, and he actually put that away. And then you can see right at the end, the penalty that got missed. That is an absolutely amazing chance. That's a 0.8 XG of a chance. That's what a penalty is rated as in XG terms. But you can see the flat red line in the first half from Bristol City didn't have a lot to do. They weren't coming at us. So, and you see, even the chances they do get are not very good ones. Whereas Millwall's chances are pretty decent. We scored, obviously missed the penalty. We scored with our second best chance, and pretty decent actually. The regularity of chances that we're getting, not quite the classic staircase shape, but you can see after this, after the second goal, we kind of shut up shop a little bit, and they only had 2 shots as we tried to shut them out. Fantastic stuff. So Moving on now, kind of having a little bit of a look ahead. This was in the Watford Observer.co.uk. The referee for the Watford game on Wednesday has been selected, and he had a bit of eventful match this past weekend. Sir David Webb. So what's happened here? The referee who sent off 4 players in Sheffield United's fiery 3-3 draw with Blackburn Saturday is set to take charge of Watford's trip to Millwall on Wednesday night. David Webb reduced the Seasiders to 9 men after Marvin Kapita and Dominic Thompson were dismissed for second yellow cards in the latter stages of the second half at Bramall Lane, and then also sent off Shane Lavery and Blades keeper Res Fotheringham after full time following a mass bust up. Yeah, so he sent them off after the game was done and dusted, and he made a point of doing it on the pitch. Like, I could have done that in the tunnel in the dressing room. But it is what it is. Those were the first red cards. Yeah, so Webb has already been in charge of matches involving Watford and Millwall this season, which is weird because we're only, what are we, like 12, 13 games into the season? Something like that. And we're getting the same referees again already. What's happened to the talent pool? Is there not a lot of referees to go around? Seems a bit weird, but hey, it is what it is. So he refereed the Lions 2-1 defeat of Blackburn Rovers at the start of the month. So only 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago he was refereeing a Millwall game at Blackburn. Now he's back at Millwall to referee a game against Watford. That doesn't seem normal to me. I think it was like that in the past. Have we lost some referees? Have they retired and quit? Did COVID stop the promotion because all the games weren't happening? So is there like a problem with referees being promoted from the divisions below? Anyone in the ref game know what's going on? It's a bit weird, isn't it? 2 weeks ago I refereed a Millwall game, now he's back again. Seems a bit weird, but I don't know. Hopefully he's got his little whatever's going on in his life out of his system by sending off the 4 players at Blackpool, and we can have an unoffendable game on Wednesday against Watford. And that is on Sky Television, by the way, so if he makes any mistakes in that game, he's going to get slaughtered because he's live on television. We're going to finish today's video with this from millfc.co.uk. Duo bag Millwall Supporter of the Month award. Millwall Football Club's first 2 Supporter of the Month awards have been confirmed. Congratulations to Gianluca Sardi and Kelly Webster, who are the Lions champion from August and September 2022. Gianluca, a season ticket holder member of Millwall Business Club, attends all Millwall matches whether they be at home or away, flying from Italy each and every time. That is amazing. Although, to be fair, that's probably easier than trying to fucking cross the country with all these dopey fucking twats climbing up bridges and shit like that and just lying in the road. Just flying to Heathrow and get the tube down to South Bermondsey. So he's been a match and match ball sponsor already this season and actively supports Millwall Community Trust, speaking at their latest events. Kelly, meanwhile, earned a nomination for everything she has done towards setting up the Lions Food Hub and continuing to help the local community. So there you go. There it is. Done and dusted. Good stuff there. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.